I'm Luke Crummage, and on this week's episode of the We Ball podcast, we announce the winner of the giveaway, and then we talk about all things combine. We give you a nice little preview before the biggest week in the NFL draft. We are so thankful for everything and all the love that y'all showed to the last video. We got some more big things coming, so stay tuned to the We Ball podcast. That was kind of bad, I'm not gonna lie. Tyler, we're gonna redo that. Tyler, we're gonna redo that. Ready? On this week's episode of the We Ball podcast, Tyler and I talk all things combine. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. It's the biggest week in the NFL draft and a big week for the NFL offseason. A lot of people don't think about it like that, but we also announced the winner of our giveaway. Thank you guys for all the love on the last episode. So it's the first part of the video. Go watch it. Go find out if you won or not. Thank you guys for the support, and it's time for the We Ball podcast. Hello and welcome to the We Ball podcast. I am Luke Crummage. It's been a big week for your boys. Joining me is Tyler DeSena. Tyler, how are we doing, pal?
Good. We have been sitting talking before this podcast for about an hour, and we're ready to get into it. We've been talking about, the giveaway that we announced a couple weeks ago that we finally are going to have a winner for, the different topics coming with the combine that we are sure to get to, and pretty much everything that has happened for us over the last couple weeks. I'm super excited.
So basically, we're going to get right into this. This is going to be our combine preview episode. We're going to touch on 5 topics each that we think are the most important things to follow. They're not going to be in order. We're just going to talk about some of the things that we have our eyes on. Tyler, my boy, I think you should do the honors. Let's run the randomizer for the giveaway. We assigned a number to every comment. Tyler's going to run it. Tell us the number. I'm going to look at a list. I'm going to say who won the giveaway. Tyler, here we go, pal.
I am on random.org right now. I obviously am not sure of the numbers. I have a 1 through 13 because I believe that was the comments if we took ours out. I have clicked it, and the number that I've gotten is 12.
All right, let's see. Number 12. Winner is, drumroll please, David Ballantyne. David, we're going to reach out to you probably on Twitter. If we can't find your Twitter, then we're going to comment for you on the last video for you to hit us up. But congrats, David. You are going to be receiving a Senior Bowl Aaron Donald signed rookie card. Congrats, buddy. You'll get it in the mail soon. But yeah, thank you for everyone who entered. That episode was awesome. We're so glad everyone enjoyed it. 500 views is huge for us. Hopefully that'll eventually become the regular, but 500 views was really cool to see. And we thank you guys for all the support. Tyler, let's get into the combine, buddy.
I'm excited. Yeah. Like we said, combine coming up really soon. And yeah, we've got some topics. So you want to jump in first?
I will go first because I got some stuff to talk about.
Of course.
Bryce Young and Jordan Addison's weight. It's 100%. Gonna be an issue.
Big. I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to, especially those two, because of the fact that they're first round picks.
Yeah, like if Jordan Addison weighed 20 more pounds and was 2 inches taller, he'd be top 10 pick. Like, he's good. He's a good player. But he weighs like 60 pounds. Like, I weigh more than Jordan Addison, and I'm as tall as him. That's a problem. I might be taller and weigh more than Jordan Addison. That's an issue in my book.
And the problem also, if I might add, is not as much the fact that he doesn't weigh much. It's that he doesn't weigh much at that height. He's like over 6 feet tall. And
he is 6 feet tall.
He's 6 foot tall, somewhere in that range. And that's just unheard of for somebody who's going to come in at likely somewhere in the 170s or low 180s. Like that weight is unprecedented. I believe I heard that he would be in like the 0th percentile for a player at that height to be in that weight class.
Yeah, no one will have weighed what he is going to weigh and get drafted, period, let alone the first round. So he's going to take a hit, and it's going to hurt because I like him as a player, but he doesn't. The thing is with Addison, he doesn't play at that size. We're going to get more into this later on in our upcoming top 5 episodes that we're going to be doing in like a month for each position. Look out for those. He just doesn't play like he weighs 165 pounds. He tries to play bigger than he is, and it's kind of an issue. We're going to get into that. But next is Bryce Young. and this is everyone's number one story, right? Like, no one is going to talk about anything other than Bryce's weight all week. And he's going to just down a bunch of water beforehand, and he's going to weigh like 185, and it's going to be fine. Like, it's not going to be a problem.
That's the thing about weight specifically. Like height, we're going to get into some height guys. We're going to get into some speed. All that stuff is usually able to be translated. Like, it makes sense. You don't usually change heights, throughout your NFL career.
Unless you're like 18.
But wait, you are going to be like, your weight is only going to be higher. And like, when people see Bryce,
he's gonna drink one of these.
Happy that he's at like whatever they want the number to be. They're going to be happy about it because he just downed a bunch of water. No matter what it is, I guarantee you that Bryce Young did not gain enough muscle from December until now to be like 200 pounds. It just isn't happening.
No, I think he's going to come in. I think he'll come in at 5'10". I know people think he's going to be shorter than that. I think he's going to come in at 5'10". Just from personal experience, I know people who have stood next to him, and I've stood next to those people, and I'm only 3 inches taller than them. It's a whole bunch of semantics that I'm just not gonna get into because it's so pointless. But I think he's coming in at 5'10". I don't think that's actually going to be the problem that everyone thinks it's going to be with the way that the NFL is structured nowadays. I don't think it matters. I think the weight is more important, and he's gonna just drink a bunch of water, and now no one's gonna care, and he's gonna be the first overall pick. It's fine. Not a problem.
Of course. But I have another topic that does relate to another quarterback, and it might be one that we don't see tested all, but I think that's what makes it interesting, is Anthony Richardson. We have not seen somebody at this size, this kind of frame, even anything similar, especially with that speed and athletic profile, since I want to say like Josh Allen. I mean, Josh is obviously much bigger, but it's the only similarity we have recently, like especially at that size. And it's gonna be interesting, in my opinion, to see, is he going to run? Is he going to do all the physical stuff? Because I want to see, could that even boost him more if they see him run fast? I don't know. But I think the more intriguing part is whether or not he could throw. Because the biggest part of his evaluation that really people struggle with is the fact that his mechanics were inconsistent, and he really missed a lot of targets based on poor accuracy. So if he could somehow, even on air, show that those mechanics have improved over the last, 3 months-ish, I think it could be huge for his draft stock, especially if he goes in there, kills the interviews with teams, and then goes out and is throwing really good routes on air. People are going to start talking because, as much as we love the rest of the quarterbacks in this class, there are some very interesting, guys there. There's no guy with the athletic profile of Anthony Richardson. There's no guy with the ceiling of Anthony Richardson. And the other guys have concerns. We do not know how much CJ Stroud's going to be willing to work out of structure, or if guys like, Bryce Young, we obviously don't know about the size. Oh. Anthony Richardson does not have any physical concerns whatsoever. It's all technical. So if he could come out and prove that the technique is better, it could be huge for his draft stock.
Yeah. And I think board work is going to be huge for a lot of the QBs. I think Levis is going to be huge for. I think we're going to get into that later. I think Tyson Bagent board work is going to be huge for. I think Anthony Richardson board work is going to be huge for, because people don't see these guys as top tier processors. We have discussed. I think he's a little bit farther along than people think. You think he's Agreed. A lot farther along than
I think that a lot of the thing with, and we're going to get into this in the quarterback episode, I think that a lot of people see the inaccuracy and they translate to that to
mental.
He's making the wrong decisions. And the way that he gets through his progressions on film, I'm not going to get in all the, nitty gritty. Yeah. That'll be for the quarterback breakdown, which will come soon. But let's just say I'm pretty high on Anthony Richardson. You've got something else coming up next. How about you get into it?
Yeah, there's a man. He goes to the University of Pittsburgh. His name is Kalijah Kancey, and he is going to be the shortest defensive tackle ever drafted.
Another 0 percentile guy.
I don't know if you guys have seen this trend, but it's almost like the NFL is getting bigger and stronger and crazy freaks, and it's getting shorter and smaller and just crazy, crazy freak guys on both ends of the spectrum. We're losing the middle ground. We need some regular humans back in the NFL. I don't know what's going on. We need more, regular dudes just walking around in the NFL. There's too many high-low percentile guys. My heart can't handle it. There's too much upside downside with these guys. It's too risky to evaluate them. But Kalijah Kancey's a dog, man. I really like his game. I really liked watching him. He's got strength that he builds from leverage. So I don't know how much the height and like weight is going to be a problem because he's just smart with his body and uses it to build strength from what he has and like where he is on the field. But he's going to be small and it's going to scare NFL teams. He's going to be like 5'10. Like it's going to be 0.0 percentile. Nobody is built like this man.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I mean, like you said, a lot of it comes from his leverage. Like he uses his height almost to his advantage.
Yeah.
So maybe it won't matter. But also we've seen guys like Javon Kinlaw, who are smaller defensive tackles, just not perform to the level that we expected them to at the next level. So we don't really know. It's very interesting. As for my next point, I would like to get to Jackson Smith and Jigba, who I will say right now is my favorite receiver in this class that I've gotten to watching, just because like you guys all know, the technique's there, the route running's there, but what is his 40 time going to be? That's where I'm concerned about, or at least like
what do you think it
excited
needs to
see what the range. I mean, I don't think he has to be much more than like a 4.6-ish guy to be. I think his route
if he hits
running
4.5, I think he's locking.
If he gets in the 4.5s,
one.
he's locking it down as like in my opinion still. I don't think, honestly, I'm not ever a guy that's like relying on a 40 time to see where I'm going to draft somebody just because you see how they run on tape. But like I understand. And then I think just seeing where he falls, because I think a lot of teams are going to look at it. If he can somehow run somewhere in the 4.5s, that would be huge.
I think the agility drills are also going to be huge for him. I think the 3-cone stuff like that is going to be huge for him too.
If I were him, I almost wouldn't want to see him with those drills just because we know how good he is in space and how good he is at running routes, that he's so smooth that like I feel like that kind of stuff could only lower his grade. And that's why it's concerning about whether or not he's actually going to participate, because he might decide, it might not be worth running the 40 if like that's the only thing that could boost my grade when everything else could just lower how teams think of it.
Yeah, that's true. But I just like I know like it's a feeling that he would do well in the agility drills. I just want to know that time. And I'm not a big 40 truther, but like there's certain guys you want to see it. Like you want to see if they have long speed.
All the top guys you want to see the 40. Let's be real. We just want to see these guys true. Like it's football action. It's some of the top guys. We want to see how they run, man. But up next, I know that you've got somebody who's also projected to be a top player in this class and has some concerns of their own when it comes to measurables.
I hate that all of mine have been concerns when it comes to measurables so far.
But that's what the combine is. It's all measurables.
I know. But I don't like it because I am a big outliers guy, but I know you can't make a living betting on outliers. So for that reason, my next topic is good old Peter Skoronski up there at Northwestern and his arm length. I think this guy I think he is best at tackle. I think he can play all 5 positions on the line, maybe not center, but like you know what I mean. He has the ability to block you no matter what position he is in. I think he has that ability through and through. I think he's the best alignment in this class. But man, his arms are dinosaur arms, man. They're short. They're T-Rex arms. I know it's gonna scare teams. I know we've seen guys like Rashawn Slater. If you can put it on tape that you can consistently beat top edge rushers in the Big Ten, it should not matter, in my opinion, because these guys, he's going up against dogs day in, day out, day in, day out. He's good. He beats people. He locks people down. I don't know what his like stats and pressures let up and sacks and all that stuff is, but every time I watch that man play, I'm like, I want that man blocking for Daniel Jones. I don't care. We don't need a tackle. Like, get him out there. It doesn't matter. I want him blocking for my team.
And at some point, I think we do realize with that is that like the combine is so much based on these measurables, and half of the time, like it might not be a reason that a player or team is like good. I don't think that all the time it really matters all that much.
They don't matter.
But at the end of the day, this is the stuff that we're excited to see. Like we all say it doesn't matter, but when the combine comes along and Peter Skoronski's arm measurement comes out, we are all going to be freaking out on Twitter, whether we like it or not.
He's gonna have he's gonna have short arms, man.
As for my third thing, it's actually not a measurables per se. It hasn't involved, but it's Will Levis as a whole, because it has come out from pretty much everybody who has talked to him, has talked to his guys, or is one of his guys, that he's going to blow up the combine. He is going to light it up, supposedly. And we obviously don't know what that entails. A lot of it's going to be mental stuff that we're not going to be able to see. But I would love to see whether or not, like, I want to see how that performs. I want to see what that 40 time could look like if he decides to run it, because he's fast. He's faster than a lot of people give him credit for. He's obviously got a cannon, even though like it was inconsistent at times with his accuracy and stuff like that. He's got a cannon. It's a similar thing to Richardson. I want to see how he throws. If the mechanics have gotten any better, is his lower half, more in sync, all those different things. Everyone has said that Will Levis is somebody who's been working really hard since the season ended and is going to light up the combine. So I think that's something I really want to see just from top to bottom, is every time Will Levis comes up in that quarterback group, how does he perform?
I'm concerned for Will Levis. I know everyone's like, oh, he's going to light up the combine. But is he going to light up board work? Let's be honest with ourselves. Is he going to light up board work? I don't know about that.
I think that he also did not have a lot of opportunities to work. I mean, this is going to come more in the quarterback episode that we keep alluding to. But like, I also think that he did not have enough opportunities, I think, to work in like multiple reads, considering how much of his offense is derived from like that Shanahan system. And a lot of the times it is like bootlegs and half field stuff. And like, I don't think we got to see. That's why Will Levis and like a lot of these quarterbacks in this class are interesting, is because their offenses seem to have limited what they could do mentally.
I know. It's just, I have legit concerns about Will Levis and his ability to process. And I don't know, man. There's a lot of just, I feel like when we get to the combine, like get to this point of the year, all of a sudden, all of your concerns about guys come to the forefront. Everything that you loved about guys, you're like, yeah, I know I love this stuff, but let me like dissect every minute detail of all of the like weaknesses of these guys.
And that's exactly what GMs are doing. GMs are now going to go talk to these guys and go ask them questions and go, get like up close and personal and see like, what is this guy really about? And like, I think that
we don't get the answers. That's what hurts.
We don't get all the answers. The biggest thing that is going to matter, it's not on my list, but the biggest thing that's going to matter is how the like quarterbacks, other guys, how they perform up here. And the problem is we're not going to see all of it. Okay, maybe not the Wonderlic specifically, but
I think we should take a Wonderlic test on the episode. I think that's a good idea. Are we smarter than Tua Tagovailoa?
Wow, I did not think we were going to go there specifically to his Wonderlic, but I think a Wonderlic on the show would actually be pretty funny. But I know that you've got you've got a position as a whole, and so do I. But I think we should probably go to yours first because of the amount of guys that we're anticipating could be freaks at your position.
I love this cornerback class, and I'm not talking about those first 4 or 5 guys. Yeah, they're good. They're actually amazing, and I would love one of them on my team, but I'm not going to get one. The group from 2nd to 5th round in this class is so insane. But you got guys like Julius Brents. What's he going to run? We know he has freaky long arms. Like he's built like a zombie. His arms are down here. Like, then you have Rajon Wright, who I don't know how he's going to test, but I know that dude's an athlete. You watch him on film and you're like, damn, that dude is crazy out there. Then you got Darius Rush. I think Darius Rush is a good athlete, but he still struggles against athletes. So I want to know how good of an athlete this guy is. Like, there are so many guys. I mean, and then we can go to the top guys. Like, what's Keely Ringo's 40 time going to be? He's been bragging about it. He's been saying he's faster than Usain Bolt. Like, all right, Keely, prove it. Like, I want to see it. I want to see it with laser timing. I don't want to hear that you're running 4.1s. Like, I want to see it. Put, pen to paper type thing.
Yeah, like, this isn't the Bo Jackson thing where he ran the 40 and they didn't even have any cameras or anything on him. I want to see this is the combine. This whole thing's televised. Everybody's got their times. You can literally laser time it, like you said. I want to see
Emmanuel Forbes. I want to see Emmanuel Forbes test. I think he's gonna do off the chart stuff. Like, there's just so many crazy. I mean, Christian Gonzalez is a crazy athlete. I think the guys who we aren't going to be talking about athletic testing are, Cam Smith and Witherspoon, because they're not going to come off the page as freaks. Like, they're not going to jump off the page.
But if any of them happen to have one outlier, one really good outlier, it could boost any of them to CB1 in this class.
Yeah,
and
I think
that's the crazy.
The top 5 guys, even there's 6 guys who legitimately could go in the first round at corner.
Yeah, for sure. There's a ton.
Emmanuel Forbes, Keely Ringo, Cam Smith, Joey Porter, Christian Gonzalez, Witherspoon,
That's
and
6.
what's his name? Gonzalez. Did I say Gonzalez?
You said Gonzalez. You have
Okay.
6.
We have 6, but then there's Clark Phillips. He's not an athlete. What's he gonna do? Like, not that he's not an athlete. That sounded wrong. He's not a crazy athlete like some of these other guys. What is he gonna do? I think Mekhi Blackman is one of the smartest corners in this class. What is he gonna do athletically that proves that he's like worth a higher pick than what he's going right now? What's Riley Moss gonna do out there, man? Special teams king Riley Moss. Like, what's he gonna do out there? Who knows? This cornerback class is so much fun, and I love it so much. I can't wait.
Of course. And just like you're talking about the cornerback class and how those guys are going to test, I'm sitting here and I'm looking at these tight ends and I'm thinking, who's the top of this class? I haven't gotten, every individual guy to create my rankings yet, but I've watched a little bit of Michael Mayer. I've watched a little bit of Darnell Washington, Dalton Kincaid. Luke Musgrave, we were talking about at the combine, not at the combine, at the Senior Bowl. And he's going to obviously have a very important combine. How are all these guys going to test? We know Washington is a freak. He's like an offensive tackle playing tight end.
Insane.
And he has amazing ability after the catch for somebody of his size. How is he going to test? Michael Mayer, everybody's talking about him like he's the next Gronk. How's he going to test? That's when everyone's calling him Baby Gronk.
Baby Gronk is that 8-year-old on TikTok. That's who Baby Gronk is. That kid's crazy, bro. That kid was committed to Oregon when what's his name was there. Mario Cristobal was there. That dude, wild account. If you don't know who I'm talking about, go look up Baby Gronk on Instagram. This kid's dad runs his Instagram account, and it's the wildest thing. They had University of I forget what university it was, but they had
Florida State.
It was Florida State, the cheerleaders.
Yeah. They had Florida State cheerleaders with this man, and he's 8 years old. I don't even want to go into that. Basically, the tight ends.
Go look up Baby Gronk.
Luke Musgrave, I know, ran a crazy 40 time, or not a crazy 40 time. He was running crazy times at the Senior Bowl. He was a top tight end. He broke 20 miles an hour. What's his 40 time going to be? This whole group is absolutely insane. Crazy. Honestly, it's so it's not just top heavy too. It's deep. There are a lot of guys that you might like later in this class. And it depends on what your kind of preference is.
What's Cam Watson going to do?
Exactly. That entire group is just so exciting.
It's crazy.
I think them and the corners are two of the most fun position groups that we're going to get to watch. Luke, I know that you've got a specific player. I've got a specific player. Let's see what it is.
All right. I'm going to go with USFL draft pick Isaiah Land. First of all, that is so disrespectful. Don't be drafting my boy. Isaiah Land's a dog. Do not be drafting my boy in the USFL. I was so livid when I saw that. This guy's a dog. He's going to be in the NFL, and he's going to be in the NFL for long enough where he doesn't feel the need to play in the USFL. That's all I'm going to say about that. But Isaiah Land is putting on weight. We all know this because he wants to stay at edge because he knows, his coverage might not be the best because he's an edge rusher. But he's so light. He posted a picture of him as a freshman, and he's got toothpicks for ankles. Now, apparently he's up above 235, which would be huge for him. If he can get to 240, I think he stays at an edge. And he's putting on muscle. This kid isn't just drinking water. He's putting on muscle at a rapid rate. And it's about keeping that speed at that weight. And if he can do that, I think he's going to fly up draft boards. The concerns with him are really just his weight. That's the big thing with him.
It's the weight and the level of competition. And the level of competition, we saw him have good plays at the Senior Bowl. And he's still a guy that's transitioning to see what position he's really going to play. So, I think the fact that he was able to grasp it at the Senior Bowl and make a couple plays is so huge for his draft stock. And that's why I think, it was so important that we were there. And you were saying.
I just think Isaiah Land he's talented. I think he's a freak athlete, but can he keep that speed and that explosiveness at, this higher weight? I think he might be testing with linebackers, which I don't necessarily love, but I get it. So he's going to come in at a higher weight than he was listed as, a lot higher. Hopefully he gets to 240, and then hopefully he still drops a good 40 with a good, first 10 split. I think that would be huge for him, and he would literally fly up draft boards. I don't think like there's no concerns with his agility. It's just how much is he going to weigh, and is he going to have to play linebacker? And if he plays linebacker, can he cover? And I don't know that he can, but I know that as an edge rusher, he is good enough to be an NFL player. Like I know that for a fact. So
For sure.
it's interesting. But you
I
have
know
a USFL guy.
I have another USFL guy, and I'm going to lightly touch on it, but I have to say I'm going to break the script here. I have a fifth thing I wanted to talk about that I completely blanked on until now, but we're going to lightly touch on my first one first. Another USFL guy, Tyler Scott from Cincinnati. Basically, it's quick. I want to see how much he's going to run in the 40. This is a guy that like could go like day 2 if he runs a fast enough 40. People are like giving him the hype, and there's rumors that he could run somewhere in the 4.2s. And I think that that's something super exciting. Every year we want to see a guy break the record. We're not going to get a guy breaking the record every year, but you know, a guy who could run a guy who could run a 4.2. What's not exciting about that? But a little change of plans. My number 5 has nothing to do with the players. What it has to do with is the GMs. This is the first time that we are going to see all 32, or at least close to it, general managers in the same facility since, you know, pretty much last year around this time. And you know what happens every time? We hear trade rumors, we hear free agency rumors, we hear different guys who could get moved. I think that that is something that we could definitely be looking forward to, as far as, you know, who are teams meeting with, who are teams looking to potentially trade for. I'm pretty sure the Nick Foles to Jacksonville trade went down at the combine. There were different trade. I think OBJ almost got, like, I'm pretty sure a lot of that came together during the combine.
That's when he said we signed him to trade him, and then you traded him a week and a half later. And I cried in my kitchen as like a 12-year-old. Like
none of us are, obviously they're not allowed to officially make the trades yet, but we know the whispers happen every year. And I think that that's something we definitely got to keep our eye out for. Who are these GMs talking to? Who are they going to walk up to? And another part of that is, what prospects are getting interviews? Because this is the first time that we're really going to see true in-person interviews that like really are, you know, in-depth with specific prospects for every player here. Because at the Senior Bowl, Jim Nagy said it best. Everybody's beaten with everybody. Everybody's meeting with everybody.
Yep. I think this is when mock drafts kind of start to fall into place. You're going to see a lot of, listen, this is a little pro tip from all my people out there. Look at every single NFL beat writer's mock draft after the combine. All right? Because beat writers, they got contacts with the people in the building. They start to figure out who's going to their team. If you can compile all that stuff together, you start to get a pretty good idea of where this draft's going to be going.
Yeah, and obviously, like, you know, not every team is, you know, like open mouth, just saying everything, just blabbering on about who they're going to take. But there are those certain teams, even the ones that keep a pretty, you know, pretty close to the vest. Yeah, exactly. Even the ones who keep it close to the vest, that you can still sometimes engage and figure out who it is that they might be interested in. And that's what makes this draft season so fun, is all of it's speculation. Whether or not, you know, Jackson Smith-Njigba is going to run the 4.5s, whether or not Bryce is going to come in at 5'10", all of it, whether or not these guys are going to translate to the next level, where they're going to get drafted, all of it is conjecture until that night in April, those 3 nights in April. And that's what makes it so much fun.
I love the combine, man. I love it. I can't wait to see like Andre Oshavas run. That man is a track star. He's going to burn. I think Devon A-Chain is going to go crazy. There's like so many guys who I'm like, damn, these guys got some speed. These guys got legit 4.2 speed. Are they going to, you know, be able to show it in a, you know, on some turf with their fingers on the ground? Like, yeah, we'll see. No blocks. So, you know, that's a thing for these track guys. But like A-Chain and Yoshivas are both big track guys. I think the combine, it's just pure fun, man. We got a punter who's going to lift after he broke the combine record for lifting. He's going to go, he went back to school. He transferred. Now he's back in the combine. He's going to lift again. He's probably going to break his own record. This is the greatest.
It's so much fun, man. We're probably gonna get Rich Eisen running the 40 again. Like, there's all the fun stuff just during the hours upon hours of coverage, and that's already after a bunch of the interviews have taken place. They're there for like 4 or
week
5 days or
Yeah.
like something before we even get to see them on television.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's going to happen before it even starts, if that makes any sense. But like, that's what makes the combine, like we said, so exciting.
And that is why you have to keep it locked to the We Ball podcast. This has been Luke Crummich and Tyler DeSena. We are so grateful for everything that's going on right now. A lot of big stuff happening for us. Thank you guys for listening. If you're on Spotify, Apple Music, or Apple Podcasts, leave a rating. 5 stars is preferred, but whatever you want to say it with your chest. And if you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. Follow the Twitter accounts right there. And that's basically it, folks. This has been the We Ball Combine preview. Thank you very much, and We Ball.